Story 1, AITAH for telling my parents to keep all the money they stole from me while I was in university and shove it up their Original post, April 25, 2024. I got a job while I was in high school. It was with a friend of my father. I put away most of it and just bought myself some stuff I wanted but my parents wouldn't buy for me. My parents aren't rich but they do well enough. They wanted me to appreciate that material goods were paid for with my time. I didn't mind. I bought myself a PS4 and some games, which they made me share with my younger brother and sister. Once again I didn't mind. I mostly played while they did homework or slept. When I graduated from high school they said I had to start paying rent. That sucked because I was going to university in the fall and I was hoping to save up over the summer so I could work less during the school year. So I worked my ass off in school and at work. I ended up getting a job loading delivery trucks before school. And that sued because I went to sleep at 7 p.m. most nights so I could get up early and go to work. I am about to graduate and I found a job in another province. I have already started doing my onboarding and online training. I will go from graduation to loading my car to leave. My parents had a graduation party for me where they tried to present me with a check for all the rent I paid plus a pittance in interest. I looked at the check for about a minute and I started laughing. All I could think of was the fact that I had no social life during university. Because I was working, I didn't have any money in investments like my friends did. Because they were taking my money, I asked them how they were doing this for my sister. They said they weren't since she wasn't working while she went to school. I tie her up the check and told them to shove it up their asses. I told them that when they compensated me for all the sleep I lost, 4 years of no social life during university and 4 summer vacations, I would speak to them again. I told my little brother not to get a job or they would FCK him over too. I went to my room, grabbed my computer, some clothes, my PS4, and my toiletries. My brother and sister can play on the PS5 my parents bought the family. They were yelling at me the whole time. I said if they touched me or tried to stop me I would call the cops. I loaded up my car, that I paid for, I insure, and is registered to me. I drove to my friend's parents' house and had a bit of a breakdown. They let me stay there since she is away at university in another city. I blocked my parents and my brother and sister. I had already given notice at my job so I called my boss and told him I was sick and would not be available for my last week. He said he understood and laughed. He said he was surprised I had kept working this close to graduation. My grandfather called me to talk a couple of days later. We went to Timmy's and he let me unload everything I felt. They took money from me that I could have used to make my life better. I didn't even have time for a girlfriend. My entire university romantic life was hooing up with a woman I work with when her ex-husband had the kids for the weekend. He said my parents' hearts were in the right place and that they thought they were helping me. I said they owed me 4 years of fun. Of parties I was too tired to go to. Of social events and networking I didn't do. All the shit they were subsidizing for my sister. And that they would end up subsidizing for my brother. He said he understood and hugged me. He is old but I couldn't have gotten free of that hug if I tried. He asked me if I needed money to start my new job. I said I did not want anything that came from my parents. He gave me a cashier's check for about 3 times what my parents took from me. He said to use it however I wanted in my new life. He said it wasn't part of my inheritance or anything. It was a gift from him and something my grandma would have wanted me to have. My friends think I was stupid to tear up the check. Most of them agree with me about being pissed at my parents. Some family have called me to say I behaved terribly and that I owe my parents an apology. I thank them for the call or message and block them. I'm calmer now and I do not think I am in the wrong. But maybe I'm too close to see what I'm missing. AITAH, relevant comments, subscreen, NTA. They saw that the lifestyle they forced on you was keying you for years and did nothing. And they waited to do it at a party they hosted so they could get full credit as great parents too. The fact that they never intend to pull this crap on your sister reeks of bias. Oop, they would probably try if she was stupid enough to get a job. _tiger_dense, NTA. How much were you paying in rent? I could understand a pittance, like $300. We have never taken money from our children. Son is living at home currently and working full time, making over $70,000. But he doesn't pay to live here and we buy all food. I would rather he save money for a house. Oop, $750 a month. Orgasm. You ripped up a check that was close to $40,000? Oop, a little over. Oop on why he never moved out. Dorms were more expensive, and I live in the city where my university is so I would not have gotten in. I could have moved out if I got a full-time job and dropped out. I chose my path. Update April 28, 2024. Not sure why, but my other throwaway got deleted. I took a lot of what you guys had to say to heart. I unblocked my family and spoke with my parents. I agreed to meet with them for lunch today. We went to the keg and talked. They said they didn't realize how I felt for those 4 years. My mom cried and said she was very sorry that I felt like they didn't care about me. I guess they read my post from before it got taken down and they are disturbed by what I wrote. They are also upset that my girlfriend is a single mom 14 years older than me. They asked if they could meet her and I said no. They offered me the check again and this time I took it and thanked them. I said I would come home later. After lunch I went to the bank and deposited it. Since we all bank at the same branch, it was easy to cash it. I made sure that the money was in my account. Then I blocked them again. I just wrote my girlfriend a check for $4,312 to help her out. It was the interest on the money more or less. She is a decent person and she taught me a lot. She works her ass off loading trucks and she deserves something good in her life. I know that isn't me. I am seeing my grandfather tomorrow. I am going to make sure he knows what I did and why. I am also going to invite him out to see my new place once I move our west. I'm spending the weekend at my girlfriend's house since her ex has the kids. Thank you all for your help and advice. Relevant comments. Tell Vani, what was the reason for giving your girlfriend the money and what was her reaction to it? Oop, I felt like doing something nice with money that my parents would hate. She was very appreciative of the money and tried not to accept it. I said my next choice for that money would be Pierre Poilievre and she accepted it just to keep it away from him. Editor's note, Pierre Poilievre is the head of the Conservative Party in Canada. New update, my last update on my parents, my money, my grandpa, and my girlfriend. June 15, 2024. Tuesday is my convocation. I gave the tickets to my grandfather and my girlfriend. Wednesday I'm taking a flight home and never coming back here for any reason other than to see my grandfather. My grandpa came out to see my new apartment and I took him for a drive from my new city down to another, then through the mountains and home. He had never seen the Rockies before. My parents are pissed that they will not get to see me graduate, but since they had FCK all to do with my success thus far in my life, they don't deserve it. I got some great advice from this sub and the other one. I will start seeing a therapist when I get to the city where I will be working, not to reconcile with my parents or anything, just to deal with my hatred and maybe get to a better place. I left my old phone at my parents' house and I have a new phone number that only my grandpa, my friend, her parents, and my girlfriend know. If I get a call from my parents, I will ditch it and just have my grandfather know my number. I have been lurking on Reddit and I cannot believe how many other parents think this is the right way to deal with kids. If you do this, please choke. So yeah, still angry, still cutting those useless people out of my life. Happy to be moving forward. Thanks for reading this and for the advice. All of you that agreed with my parents, I hope you do better with your kids. If not, you deserve what you get. Relevant comments. TV, Maniac 5. Can I ask a few questions? Did you ever talk about how you felt regarding the money to your parents before the incident? Were you planning to cut them off or were you just pissed they didn't actually need the money and kept you in a misguided attempt to teach you self-reliance? Do you think it's fair to also cut off your siblings for something your parents did? Oop, never talked to them. Wasn't planning on cutting them off. Was going to go LC not NC. My sister is on their side. Big surprise. My brother unfortunately let them use his phone to contact me. Tilda Arcanium. Guardiano. So has the girlfriend been promoted to legit girlfriend now? Oop, no. We have had our goodbyes. We actually had them after my first post. I just wanted her to see me graduate. She deserved it more than my parents. She cares for me but was very clear that her and I would not work long term. Story 2. I caught my husband cheating on me with his stepsister. I just need a place to let this out. Last week, I, 29F, caught my husband Jack, 30M, cheating on me with his stepsister Claire, 24F. I went out with a friend last Saturday and planned to stay at her house. Jack didn't want to be alone all night, so he said he'd just go hang out with his stepsister. They've always been close, and they ended up going to a bar. I was feeling unwell and just wanted my bed, so I decided to get an Uber and head home. I was not expecting to walk in on them having sex on the couch. I literally threw up on the floor by the front door. They told me they were drunk and it just kinda happened. I screamed at them both to leave. Jack refused to leave and refused to sleep on the couch, so I ended up leaving anyways and went back to my friends. I am still in shock that he actually slept with Claire. I think I'm gonna file for a divorce. I am so overwhelmed and uncomfortable. Has anyone else gone through this? Please message me if so. I feel very alone and confused. Also, do I tell their parents that's why we're gonna get a divorce? I've been isolating myself a lot because of this. Relevant comments. Autumn, laughter. I'm guessing this wasn't the first time. I'm sorry Op. Please don't hesitate to tell people why you're divorcing so he doesn't have the opportunity to paint you as the bad guy. Call you Ollie. Wow, I am so sorry op. Definitely tell their parents. I'm curious, how long have they been step-siblings? Oop. Their parents got married when he was 10 and she was 4. It makes me kinda sick that they've been in each other's lives since they were young and could actually do this. They've always said they consider themselves as full siblings, so this is really disturbing. MGCK4. They probably said that to throw you off. Sorry, they've probably been doing this for a very long time. Embarrassed Safe 7939. I agree. I feel like something like this doesn't just happen after so many years of living as siblings. It may have been going on for a while, but what worries me is since when? There is a 6 years age difference here. Even if they did wait until she was 18, he'd be 24. Just the fact that he could look at her as anything other than his bratty little sister is very disturbing and concerning. So run sounds like way too much to deal with that is not your responsibility. Dresden_mouse. You think? Even ignoring the stepsister element, he took a girl into your home knowing you wouldn't be there to FCK her. I'm gonna bet is not the first time something like this happened. Get proof, lawyer up, and tell the family. Onana204, has she tried calling you? Oop. Yes, Claire tries texting me every day to apologize, and is begging me not to tell anyone. Holiday. Aside, it's not your burden to keep their shameful betrayal a secret. The faster you tell PPL and get it out in the open, the sooner this will all be over. Disconnective. If they have been step-siblings since ages 10 and 4, not only would I expect them to see each other as siblings, I'd also expect him to see her as his little sister. When he hit puberty, she would have just been 7-ish years old, and it strikes me as kind of predatory for him to see her sexually, even if they are both consenting adults now, because that attraction wouldn't just have randomly developed after all this time. It would have been there, acted upon or not, for many years, likely while he was an adult and she's still a minor. Update May 23, 2024. 5 days later I wanted more information on how long it's been going on and at what age it started, so I decided to text Claire. I told her I wouldn't tell anyone if she answered my questions. She agreed to tell me everything. I asked her when they first had sex. At first she told me it was their first time, but I told her I'm not believing that. She then confessed that their first time was right before she turned 18. I am so disgusted and extremely concerned. Then I asked her if it's still been happening since then, and she said no. She explained that they did it when she was 17, and never did it again until last week. I don't think I can trust her though. She also told me that Jack is the one who initiated sex, but who knows if that's the truth. It very well could be though. Jack and I have been together for 5 years, married for 2. We were gonna start trying for a baby soon, so I'm crushed. I wasted so many years of my life with this man. Who he even is right now. I lied to Claire though. I 100% planned on telling their parents. Some of you say that it would be wrong to do so, but because it happened when she was 17, I felt like they needed to know, and deal with it however they choose. They didn't believe me at first, until I showed them the screenshots of mine and Claire's conversation. They still seem to be in denial a little bit. I don't blame them though. I told them I'm filing for divorce and that I am moving on with my life. They gave me a hug and said they'd speak to both of them, but I told my mill that I didn't want to know anything else, and to please let me live in peace. She's gonna respect that. I more than likely won't have more updates, but I wanted everyone to know that I'm for sure getting a divorce and gonna find a therapist because I'm depressed and need the support to move on. Thank you to everyone who was kind and gave me advice and support. Relevant comments. Actual offer 127. Good luck to you. I wish you nothing but the best. Does STBX feel any remorse at all? Oop. Nope. He's being very cold towards me and refuses to leave the house, so I've been staying with my friend. Songs Fearlum. A lot of times when I was working with younger clients, they lied to me about certain parts of their stories, and oftentimes, their lies had a part that was true. It is very well possible that she was younger than she almost 18, so the truth is that she was underage. The lie is about the timeline. Just saying. Ericerox. Also, if SX happened at 17, then there had to be significant grooming leading up to it. Contrary to what Pornhub would have us believe, step-siblings don't just suddenly decide to blink for shits and giggles, and horny, one-handed clicks, vomiting face, edit, blink equals boink, smiley face, Chrysile 90. While she's certainly not innocent at her age now, he was 23 and she was 17 when this started. He's a grooming creep. You're dodging a bullet. But I'm sorry you're going through this. Golf. Signal 9401. They had been step-siblings for years before she turned 17. It was absolutely grooming. Lurkin cheap. The beginning age of 17 was also given by a person caught fooing their sibling. How truthful do we think this number really is? Patient display 5248. Don't leave the house. That can be thought of as abandoned property. Get an attorney, one who specializes in nasty divorces. You want a shark for this? Ask for the divorce record to be kept private. or not. If you want to be able to refer people to court notes, engage a therapist. Not because you need one right now, but because, trust me, there will be days where you will. Separate bank accounts, take your name off of the joint ones after your lawyer tells you to. Have your official documents somewhere safe. DL, SS card, house note, car notes, spare money, bank vault stuff, etc. And 64. I know people are saying you told the parents out of petty revenge, but I think you were right to tell them. Who knows what your husband would have told his parents about the reasons for the divorce, in order to hide his own wrongdoing. He might have started telling them, and others, that it was you who cheated. Believe me, I've seen it happen. It's important that you set the record straight. Reds, Rach, I'm weirdly proud of you, that took such courage and you handled it with incredible dignity. I wish you well as you start to pick up the pieces. I know this is the furthest thing from your mind, but one day you will meet someone who will make you glad you left Jack. Editor's note, Oop has said she won't update any further. I hope she gets out of this mess, divorces him, and gets safe and happy in the future, but I don't expect an update, so I am marking it concluded.